nisa cia Vilingi wa Mauvoo.
Ni saa 3:30 na umuthi ni wakana matuko ni miongoli mwezi wa 10 mwaka wa 2025 nyanita wa Caroline mweni wa Muteti ingi unaengelea Vilingi wa Mauvoo na ni thiwandite athanisia na Sharon Ndinda endete ambao kunaengelea Mauvoo latima nengi bwito ndeni wa Vilingi
ala tukumbanesie ni pamwe na
President Ruto kwa dhana kwa iliokwati va Kenya aibingilila kananga lama ya thayo nendeu. Serikali kuelezea maondola yikite kufikia yu na kuelezea langi vangite kwika. Mwandiki wa nati yata na masinga kuthingilila kana JSS yende ya kweka longu wa alimu wanene mamusingi na maofisa manakada kukwata suvangili umwe maana thanthatu na miongo mwonza sianzo vimbatane wekililie kaundini ya Kitui.
Vilingi wa Mauvoo.
Musaisia mwendwa otondo tethati katambelilia ne kulio tunamba kuthindini wa Vilingi wa Mauvoo ne kulio ya mundu ikulitie musumbe Dr. William Ruto ndeni woneni wake na mbunge sieli mndani wa umunde ya sakana ukwati wande ya Kenya wende nesa ya sianiwa na vowiti na nukwetekelana nake ikulo yitu ni musumbe Dr. William Ruto ndeni woneni wake na mbunge sieli mndani wa umunde Asia ukwati wande ya Kenya wende nesa ya sianiwa na vowiti na nukwetekelana nake tumosungio nambani ya ile itatu kenda imwitano watende vika na mitandaoni yitu ya mikumu kanilie tuambelelie Vilingi. President William Ruto ni waweta kanayu ukwati wande ya Kenya ni mulumu na ni wende kwa ila kwa kilungu cha miaka 3 aiweta kananga lama ya mekalele ni yende na kuthea ni kumana na mawala ni ola serikali yikite kwikithia ni ya kwate ya ukwati ainena kabindani kala wethi wa ainena na Kenya mbunge ni Ruto ingeni waweta kana wiana wande ya Kenya kana GDP kana nukilite kuma dola bilioni ya nayemwene 15 ngina dola bilioni ya nayemwena miongo 3 na kutuma ndi ya Kenya yethi wa namba 3 kwindi ila siukilite kiukwati ile mbetane ya Afrika. Angelina Musena, Mauvoo.
Ainena kavindani kala wotu viandhi ya Kenya President William Ruto ni wawetekana yu ukwati wandhi ya Kenya ni mulumu na niwende na kwa ila vala ukuwetekana yu ngalama ya meikalele ni ende na kuthea kila muthenya.
At a time like this in 2022, Kenya was in distress. Inflation had soared almost to double digits. A fuel shortage threatened to paralyze our economy as oil marketers struggled to access dollars. The shilling was in free fall. Foreign reserves had hit historic lows. Debt service consumed more than half of our revenues. Confidence, both local and foreign, had waned. International analysts warned that it was no longer a question of if, but when Kenya would default. Within that context, we acted. We restored fiscal discipline. We eliminated wasteful subsidies. We rationalized public expenditure. We strengthened revenue collection and placed our economy on a path of recovery and sustainability.
Nukuwetekana kwa kilungu cha miaka 3 yu kwa tuandhi ya Kenya wende na kwa ila nikumana na mawalenyo ala serikali ikite kusila mevyani kivadhukanyo. Uivo movyani wa uimi na mevyani ingina ila isangi ite kwanzi ya kivadhukanyo.
Inflation, which stood at 9.6% in 2022, has steadily declined to 4.6% as of last month, bringing much needed relief to households. The shilling, once in perilous downward spiral, has stabilized at 129 to the dollar for nearly 2 years, a direct consequence of prudent monetary policy and disciplined fiscal management. Our successful Eurobond redemption signaled to the world that Kenya honors its obligations.
President Ruto niwawetikana yuyano wa ukwati wa nthi ya Kenya ni ukilete kwa kilungu kinene na kutuma nthi ya Kenya yuma namba nyanya kuthi namba thansatu kwa nthi ila siende na kwa ila kiukwati lembetani ya Afrika. Niwombela kana usange tuvanene ni kwe yuma maundu ni kivathukonyo na ala ukwetikana nukuende ya nikana kukilia nthi ya Kenya kiukwati na kufikia nthi ila siende kiukwati ta Singapore.
3 years ago, Kenya was ranked the 8th largest economy in Africa with a GDP of $115 billion. Today, our GDP has increased to $136 billion, moving us up to become the 6th largest economy on the continent, according to IMF. This steep rise, ladies and gentlemen, is not accidental. It is the product of deliberate choices, disciplined execution, and strategic reforms that have strengthened our economy and unlocked its potential. Our foreign reserves have surpassed $12 billion, the highest in independent Kenya. This has restored certainty, cushioned our economy from external shocks, and restored investor confidence.
Ngilivotia Vilingi wa Mauvoo ni tawa Angelina Mose.
Tulekania na Mauvoo asu President William Ruto ni wakatha muno mawatho ala serikali ya Kenya ni isiva Kenya wivo waki wa nyumba cia thwa uvikika masomo na nyumba cia amanyibwa imanisione cie kivathukanio muvango loso uvitie miana mbe wa ngilina novani kwete mawia kwi ene million umwe mwakani ukite. Oto President Ruto ni wongela kana ni mani yende kwa ilava Kenya yivo ni tayeia nyama kate wa inge. Boni Muteti kutuelezea.
President William Ruto inena mbewa mbunge akatini walesekana maundu kivathukanyo la wathanite miaka mivitu ni weanisie nthina mvya kivathukanyo hivyo uiti wakiwa masoko na nyumba kati wa maundu angi mavata.
2 years ago, when I delivered my first State of the Nation address, I had a vision to sell. Today, I have a story to tell. A story written not in the quiet offices or the comfort of boardrooms, but out in the blazing sun of our farms, in the dust of construction sites where our affordable homes now rise, and in the grit of our community health workers, doctors, medical professionals who refuse to surrender in the quest for universal health coverage. Today, the evidence is clear, evidence of promises made and promises kept. In just 3 years, we have built not monuments of words, but foundations of progress.
Ikaria nyumba cia thoronyo vikika va Kenya, President William Ruto na watakana nini ndoto ya nite na ingi makaende numelele matamu vango yu. Mvango wake mwakani ukite ni enendi milioni umwe kwa tamawe andhenu wa melatino.
3 years ago when we said we would deliver affordable housing, the cynics dismissed it. They said it was fantasy. When they realized we were serious, they called it impossible. And when we broke ground across the country, they suggested that these projects would stall. Today, those doubts have given way to a very different question from Kenyans everywhere. How do I own one of these units? The housing program, including markets and hostels, has created over 428,000 jobs. Jobs that include architects, engineers, plumbers, electricians, carpenters, masons, steel workers, transporters, and thousands of MSMEs in fittings, fabrication, and interior design work. At peak next year, it will employ at least 1 million Kenyans.
Utoi kadha mwena wa mawia kivathukanyo na muno ni mata ya iyela wa mikathi ya taende na usamolo tumweu na wena uneko kwinthino ya Kenya na ni manyama nila sindeno utwa useo wasio onanza wa nthino ya Kenya.
Our livestock value chain is rising. Leather exports are up 56% to Kenya shillings 2.5 billion. Local shoe production now exceeds 11 million pairs, and meat exports have grown 45% to 12.5 billion. In dairy, milk production has surged to 5.3 billion liters, while exports have nearly doubled to 9.4 billion. Dairy farmers' support has enhanced with the installation of 230 new milk coolers. The outcome of these reforms is unmistakable. We have enhanced food security, raised farmer incomes, driven agro-industrialization, and expanded Kenya's export footprint.
Ruto watakana maundu ala wayanisi na kuika nthini wa rungu ya miaka 3 tiyo savali ya muthia nthini wa maundu make makwelia nthini ya Kenya na karamu kuendea na kuikithia ndoto yake na kwelia nthini na kumikia kilasini cha yulu.
As we examine the achievements of the past 3 years, results that have laid a firm foundation for equality of opportunity and a nation where no one is left behind, today I will also place before you not just a vision, but a national project that is realistic, grounded, and entirely within our reach. A vision not just to grow, but to transform. A roadmap not merely to move forward, but to rise. To rise from developing to developed. To rise from potential to reality. To rise from promise to prosperity. To rise from the third to the first world. To rise finally into the Kenya we have long imagined.
Mutongoi TV, Nyenito Boni, Mutesia.
Musumbi William Ruto ni wathana kwa ile maundu ma kisomo va Kenya na muno kisomo cha CBE ayasakana serikali ni kwithiwe yandika alimu ngili 28 tuivikia mwakani ukite wa 2026 nikana kumina unyivu wa alimu maskuluni mavandi ya Kenya. Musumbi ainena kavindani kalau kumasioneni wanthi kukonia maundu ala serikali yikite nevaniye kwika miakoni ya mbunge. Musumbi ingi mewaisekana kuisila walanio wa nyota amwika mbe wa ngili na nimekwithwa maitetheka na mbesa cia kuendesa maviasala na kwiyukilia mikalileni yo osea Kimanzi na Mauvoo.
Inena kavindani kala ukumazia uneni kwanzi yulua maundu ala serikali yake ivani kwika na yikite. Musumbi William Ruto ni wazekana walani wa nyota na ula unaambiwe ni serikali wina muvango wa kunenga amwika utwika na mianye ya mawia ayathana kana walani uno ni kwiriwa uitethia amwika alamate na mawia va Kenya bewangili mananyanya kuyukilia kiukwati.
Over the next 5 years, Nyota will uplift 820,000 unemployed young people through apprenticeship, recognition of prior learning, entrepreneurship grants, digital skills training, and support savings. When the program is fully implemented, it will have placed 90,000 young people into work or enterprise, certified 20,000 into different skill areas, capitalized 110,000 businesses, and matched savings for 190,000 savers, while building capacity of 600,000 more to undertake government procurement under the ACBO program.
Kavindani kau Musumbi ni wangelana kwazekana uteo utalo munene wa alimu ala serikali yake ivikite na kuandika ni makwithio maandikwa alimu wange ngili 28 tuivikia mwakani wa ngili na 23 ikana kuolanga unyivu wa alimu maskuluni.
We then tackled the teacher crisis head on. We have hired, as you all know, 76,000 teachers with 24,000 more to be brought in by January next year. That will translate to 100,000 teachers in 3 years, an achievement unmatched.
Yenge Muzumbe ni wathana kusebwa kwa kinando cha Infrastructure Fund kila ukwazia kanata kiutethezenzi ya Kenya kuendea nambe maondoni mawa kiwa malelu silanga kati wa maundu ange.
To deploy our national assets available to us in creating public-private partnerships that will crowd in the enormous pool of private sector resources available regionally and globally. This is why we will establish the National Infrastructure Fund, whose architecture will be underpinned by the reforms in the Government-Owned Enterprises Bill, passed by this August House, that I will sign into law tomorrow.
Ngirivoti ya Vilingi wa Mauvoo Mutongwa TV, Osea Kimanzi.
Itina wa President William Ruto kwiyumile na kunena na NND kukoni wathukumi wa silikali undu silikali yethetwe yikite kuma alikake vilani na kwa thanondo ivangite kwika kwanisia mawathalo President wathanie vindani ya kampeni. NND ni maumia mawoni meki vathukanio kukonia uneni wake na aya ni mawoni ma NND kuma isioni si kivathukanio va Kenya.
Wachambe ni kunena kuhusu undu musumbe wa weta mwenani wa monde. Kino chambe kilangwa ngutarajia musumbe anene mwenani wa monde. Ngutarajia musumbe anene ngewa ya corruption. Nundu wakumbitha corruption niyo sumbe kitendini wa Kenya yito. Nekatuma maisha maito mekalondo mailie. Kila kinge musumbe ngwesila ja otonya kunene ya mwenani wa monde. Ngwesila si anene ngewa ya uiti. Kuimbithwa undu kutona ubindwa undu kalite mbithwa kuilia. Lakini musumbe mundu ni newa nena newa sia kana mutu nuna theise mutu waka 130 ana umia 250 na sani wende musumbe ine kwani kwa thana nduka ga wetha asa obeti busteta usika na bala wawe no ka musino ndo akwemithwa ko manduka netu se mutu mbesa ila uma na twezo tena 180 no tena mana ile ndo kwata mutu angima na musumbe ni sani waza kana no theise mutu oko kasilingi 130 ngasani wende we musumbe sindu isi akaone na ikaone na umiti bakana kita okoma na akaota ndo akwemithira tu yenende netu wa tobineke kete monopio kino kila genge ningewa ya uiti ngewa ya sha nyemwene ta mwene ndene basha na naumwa bana thi sibitali ndo na kuyitewa ni level 5 kangundo na level 5 kangundo na thina yitewa ndio ndo na ndawa ndiandikiwa ni ngaite wenza na saizi na mina kuandikiwa ni ngaite wenza ila mbeza cia sha every month nene ba mbesa yunga za ni asia uitio unasobiwe na munzia yeba kana oiti auso beti anzia yeba ko Mr President kindu kila chanda wane na munani wa monde tikindu ndo tarajia nyetane mu Kenya na nyemaoni mako alango tarajia ni kana Mr President kila nesio mumanda nacho ni kindu chambe ndake utuba kalangi ndo akwembithwa kila time ayenda unena na etu noni serikali ya President Uhuru dada nena daily after month kanena na President olothi omoya oya ulani Uhuru ainena nuna nena okindu kethia tatu yenende ni twaiwa tatetheka no kethia maisha ni macheji nyini tarajia au mundu musumbe athesie mauta ndine iwe idene yange wa mauta asia kana kubikia utu bikite Kenya kana economy je sawa pipe kendo kina thina na niwa mwene engaliko cia kangundo elona tembea ndambuka cio kamba tunegwe asia kana Kenya ndina stima ngasani wende musumbe sindo yoke onena ake kumia ba kuti yokulia President William Samoei Ruto muno ambe minana na urusani ula we serikali yake ndo agwembithwa urusani niwo wothothete mathina ati na mota Kenya kila kingi waleta usobia ni kindu chetwa uiti waleta betanga na muisi kwetwa sha ndo ndize sha cho chike mania cia chaka na imania sha chao ni waleta betanga sha na katutungia NHF ndo agwembithwa NHF inaendanga kwa hospitali private na ndi itwa ndo agwembithwa tani mwene ene neze ya mbesa but for now sindu yokweta sha hii ita na hizo no gezeve na no nonsense sindu cia bathai atobetangie sindu hii na itwete au itio la waleta ndo akwembithwa tene ndi na iteba akoti na ekakoti esha ithiene netweyebe ya
na none we maundu ala musumbi wa nena lakini umo wa maundu ala musumbi wa nena undu mwani yetelete mundu musumbi address ni mawia ma ana youth maito nundu ciana cito cie mesieni na cina kisomo kila kikwende konangi mailite itha mena mawia kuma obisini kono ni yetelete musumbi awetwo kindu yulu wa ciana icito cie kumusi nundu mongini maingi biye na ciana cito ni likite muno maundu ni makunywa nundu moni aido nini yetelete muno niwe musumbi undu kuweta yulu wa kuola mayuthi maito amaliche uyani ni kenda na mamambelelio kumanda ngewa yondu meko kwimarisha ke maisha
Tuisonga na mbele mutongwe wa chama cha Wiper Patriotic Front Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka ni wakulenza mayosakwani na mivaka IBC kwithiwa na umilu maundoni mausakwani ayeleseka miaka mingi ya Kenya methiitwe matena mwikiyo na nzama ino ingi ni wa mikulia meno kwiyungamia kuthukuma na umilu na ugwo watakwendesya mawendi ma mundu kana kisiasa. Kalonzo ingi ni wonania kwema kuyaniwa kwake ni nzameno yasekana ndineto yisi ya kisomo nesa kula kwi enende kumaelesya undu wa iseso ya kwiyandikithia atako ni makula.
We had hoped the new commissioners would take office with a single-minded determination to restore IEB's credibility. But so far, the signs are not as reassuring as Kenyans deserve. It is time for the commission to step up for the sake of our democracy, the sake of our country, our stability, and the faith of every voter. On the issue of voter registration, we have concerns. We are deeply concerned that the IBC has not done enough to engage the public or provide the civic education necessary for a smooth and inclusive voter registration exercise. There are several issues we must raise. Number one, the introduction of iris scanning as a mandatory requirement was rolled out without talking to an ING or properly explaining how it works. From what we hear across the country, this new system may actually be putting people off from registering. Worse still, it has created a voter register with two different standards, some with iris data, some without, raising real questions about fairness and about consistency. Number two, limiting voter registration to constituency offices during working hours only and excluding weekends is unfair to many Kenyans. Workers, teachers, students, and young people simply cannot access these services in such a short window. Leaving registration kits open without clear safeguards risks misuse. The Commission must explain exactly what data these kits capture and ensure strict quality controls, including independent audits once registration closes. Number five, the transfer of voters must follow the law to the letter. Every transfer should begin with a written request from the voter and only proceed after full verification of residency and compliance with all legal requirements. We must, however, commend the IBC Electoral Code of Conduct Enforcement Committee for finding both Aroko and Were responsible for inciting and allowing violence, with each fined $1 million shillings payable within 48 hours of the ruling. For calling out the perpetrators of the violence in Kasipul. And we, however, note that security elements have been deployed in excessive numbers in strategic places in an attempt to intimidate voters. This must be called out and stopped forthwith. On vigilance, we have noted with utter dismay, though not surprised, the outright abuse of state resources by public servants. By public servants doing this by electioneering cycle, in clear contravention of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Articles 81 and 232.
Tuilekania na Mauvoo su tuilikandiniwe kulo yitu nikaenda tuwasoma usungio ikulo yikulite musumbe Dr. William Ruto ndini woneni wake na mbunge siele udhani wa omunde aiseka na wakwati wandhi ya Kenya wende nesa ya sianiwa na vau itina tambila kuwasa musungio ngalikonia ile itatu kenda imwe itano we mundu wa ite mutongo ITV nuvungo mudhei akwate kwenuka kidhui niva dheiva ikendu etwa okay, ndawe tetesito yake lakini aita umite chaluma. Ngalikone ya YouTube be mundu kutu Alex Mwema. Ya sava ikindu kiendeye na maundu masiasa tumesi nesa. Irene Kioko akasia nye ningu lena na ke maisha bado meyulu. Okay, eto Daniel Maluti. Titus Konzi na kia kasosumu vungu kwati wandino ya Kenya. Wende na hivyo Ruto ni wanangito kwati wa Kenya. asuni musungio otondo medho maitu manasi aisi akatewa ange nitwidwa twimosa twiminukilile Vilingi wa Mauvoo o yutambite koso thiumo nitusiokethete.
Wenu manda skulu musio, ula unenga mwana wako kisomo kisio, tuswete utuika, ula wende kethetwe, usese iba mwana mawedhi loko madheu, na mailu kwa amanyiwa, nduka amande vya yingi, the ultimate leader Mumando Hills Academy, jivo kondo waku. Tuina mawedhi loko masio, maki umundi, na nyumbade usia ukoma, kwa amanyiwa, maimwana na eitu. Sukulu witro, ni mwitikilithi kunenga udhei, kwa amanyiwa makukoma kana boarding, kuma grade 4, kufika grade 9, Oundu umwe na amanyiwa makwinuka Canada Scholars. Imanisyo sitro ili ikwatikana Century Park, musini wa Masaku, oundu umwe na mumando sioonde si kauntini iya Masaku. Nyumba sito siako koma, isaovetwe nesa, na ikombonyo nesa na itandanzio, nguwa siako iwika. Kiwi kivyuka na hot shower, wamena kundukusio, maidhiru lukoni maitro, kunenga amanyiwa mwanya wako dhiumwa, kithitoni cha kutwikithia mumanyiwa waku, kwiwa emusi. Kimanisyo kitro, kina basi siako yana, kuikithia ukuiwa amanyiwa amakwinuka Canada Scholars, ni wethi wawina ulaisi. Ingi nitrikane samadhaunita, ballet dance, taekwondo, skating, ball games, volleyball, ludo, scrabble, chess, music and drama, katuwa madhau angi maingi, amanyiwa maitoni matani ama liuma seo, na mena usuvia wakuyana, kumanenga vinya kila muthenya. The ultimate leader Mumando Hills Academy, tuna modern science lab, equipped library, fully functional computer lab, shionde kutethesia mwana waku. Sukulu witro wa Mumando Hills Academy, ni watongo itiko mawala nyumailu, makusomea musini wa Masaku, iyandikithi kondwa wosani wa Moiwambe, kana January, mwaka tuendete wangilili na meongweli na thandatu, kwa mauvombe yange, nina itu yukwisila nambani noti monza inya noti, monza thandatu, itano itatu imwe. The ultimate leader schools. Education is the light of life.
Musaisa mwendani twasiokethia vani Mutongo TV na uone Vilingi wa Mauvoo. Mwandiki wa ngwatanio ya NAT uvongeni wa Yata na Masinga Michael Kasimba Ngui ni wathingilela kana Junior Secondary School yende ya kwithiwa ungu wa utongo wa alimu anene masukulu cia musingi ayasekana alimu ya menotui kana manyi wa kutongo cia JSS nesa. Kasimba ni waelesya kwiyumia kunene kwa NAT kwikithia wandikani wa kutoa na wena pension aithingilela kana alimu alama mwanyesio ndikana interns ni mailite kwamba kukunikilwa nesa mbe wa kulikwa ndeni wa NAT kungene umbula vaisi kona imwesi ya ukengani na kusewa isesoni ya mutiani kuya Yata na Masinga. Ben Musauno kutuelesea.
Michael Kasimba Ngui inena na andiki Mauvoo wathingilela vaina mwanya wa alimu ma JSS kweyungamia amende ya kwikala maskulu ni ma primary ungu alimu anene maskulu ni aya ni kwithamena utuika ulau kuendeka kumatongo esya.
JSS is domiciled in comprehensive schools. And the heads of institutions are fully in charge. Right. The narrative which goes that our head teachers are not fully qualified is only a narrative and a fallacy, and it will remain so. Yeah. Our head teachers who are manning comprehensive schools, some of them are holders of bachelor's degree, some hold master's degree, and some are holding even PhDs. So they are equal to the task. They have experience, and they have the education and all the skills, attitudes and knowledge which is required to man comprehensive schools.
Kasimba ni waweta motangwatanio ni mende ya na kusukumia alimu ya mandi kwa ndini wa miaya ya kutua nikana meyunge na ngwatanio ino.
So we want to say, to tell our brothers and sisters, our young brothers and sisters, wacheni tuwapiganie mupate permanent and pensionable. Lakini mambo ya kutaka kuwa principal. Sasa ulitoka college jana na unataka kuwa principal. I think that is laughable, and we will not accept that. So let us give our heads of institutions time to man the schools, and we want to reiterate here and now that all the intern teachers who are JSS must be confirmed as permanent and pensionable by January 2026. Yes. That is what we agreed. Yes. Nothing short of that will not be acceptable from this end, the union. So we want to state categorically that they will be employed. And then after them being employed, they will come to the union. This is the union. Others remain others, and they remain as such.
Oingine wa makadhi ya alimu alama na ungamiye mitiani vaya atana masinga kwa kila ukwereta vaina ina sikosia ukengani subcounty ni idhile kuwa imienda serikali kukalata ndevisi ya alimu haya.
We want to thank all the teachers who have been manning examinations, both KCSE examination and assessment tests for grade 9 and grade 6. All those who have been center managers, all those who have been invigilators, and all those who have been supervisors have done tremendous work. Continue with the same. I want to categorically state that in Yatta and Masinga, no cheating issues are raised. So we want to say kudos for teachers for doing your work professionally. The other thing we want to say now that the invigilators and the supervisors and the center managers have finished their work, we are demanding prompt payment from Kenya National Examination Council. Actually, we need that money before December. We want to enjoy our sweat on Christmas Day.
Okavinda ni kaungo ini wadhingilela alimo maidha mawala nyone wao itiwa Minet kulikaola washa odondo serikali idhitwe isukumia.
Mambo ya kuhamishwa kutoka Minet kwenda SHA, we are saying we have not accepted. As a branch, we need to be called, we need public participation to be done, and if it was signed by our seniors, we have not received that kind of communication. We will talk about it when we receive communication. But from my SG, I've not received any communication that we have been transferred from Minet to SHA. In any case, what we need is comprehensive health insurance for our teachers. And our teachers must be treated, and not only treated, but treated well.
Vilingi wa Mauvoo Mutongo TV kumava kauntini ya Masako nyenita wa Ben Mosau.
Saina siatilekandatika ile mudia wa Vilingi wa Mauvoo ni muviano ndu wako tambania na itu ndeni wa Vilingi wa Mauvoo nitoa Caroline Mweni wa Muteti na nethe wa nditethania na Sharon Ndinda na kwa vamwe tuye mwende utukua kwa ila.